Lately, I've been wondering how fast premium plants would help for a Plants vs. Zombies 2 speedrun. These are plants that cost $5 each to unlock, so how much extra speed would you get from paying to win? That's what we're testing out today, and the rules are simple. We can use any premium plant at any time, but we can't buy things like extra coins because then you could just spam powers, or use seed packets that you don't naturally get from gameplay. Which, by the way, one thing that inspired me to finally do this video was this one by Perpetual Prince with the video of using max level but non-premium plants. So I thought it'd be interesting to compare the difference in speed along with how fast we go compared to my former world record I set back in 2024. And starting out the speedrun, we actually began a bit slow because the shop doesn't unlock until after day 7 of Ancient Egypt, so beginning levels are all the same as a regular run, but after that I got to buy my premiums. And the ones important for now are the Gold Bloom, Imitator, Electric Pea Shooter, and Power Lily. My plan for these beginning levels was to use a Gold Bloom and Imitator Gold Bloom immediately to give ourselves an instant 750 sun right from the beginning. They also have a 75-second recharge time, meaning we get this boost every minute and 15 seconds, so we'll be taking this combo to almost every level. On shorter levels, this is more than enough sun to carry us without any sunflowers, since we can spam Electric Pea Shooters on every lane and get an easy win. This strategy wasn't going to work on harder worlds, but for now it was really broken. The Electric Pea Shooters have both piercing shots, so they can hit multiple zombies in the same lane, and their shots do damage to the lanes adjacent to them. And this is especially useful because how PvZ speedruns work is the faster you take out a wave of zombies, the sooner the next wave shows up. And with all this damage, we get through waves super quickly. The last great thing about Electric Pea Shooters is their plant food, which can one-shot most early zombies, so we have a very comfortable time winning levels. Then, if a level has 2 or 3 flags, I would usually plant a few sunflowers along with my pea shooters at the beginning for extra sun, and we could use the Power Lily for 175 sun, which gives us a free plant food, so usually around my second Gold Bloom boost, I would place one of those down, and the zombies just had no chance after that. Now in Ancient Egypt, there are some other levels to point out like day 18 where it's a plan your defenses level. Here you get a set amount of sun to spend and can plant whatever you want before the zombies come out, but you won't get any extra sun throughout the level. Right now, all we need is some electric peas, and you can assume I always use this strategy until later on when I mention a change. And another type of level to mention are conveyor belt levels where our premium plants don't matter. In these levels, the game automatically gives you whatever plants it wants to, and this includes boss stages, so there are a lot of levels where we won't get a speed boost. Still, there are plenty of levels we get to break, and now we're on to Pirate Seas. At this point, the zombies have gotten a bit stronger, introducing ones like bucket heads, so Electric Pea Shooters alone aren't always enough. Thankfully, back in Ancient Egypt, we unlocked Bonk Choys, which give us the extra damage needed to deal with stronger zombies. So I just put them in any especially vulnerable lanes, like the water ones where you have zombies swinging in on ropes, since you can get really overwhelmed if you aren't careful. One of the scarier levels came in on day 16, where we had to protect 2 endangered spring beans. If these guys get eaten, we automatically lose the level. I kinda underestimated how fast zombies would be coming at us in those lanes, so I had a few close calls with them getting fairly close, but our bonk choys were barely good enough to keep us protected. Other than that, pretty simple world, which also gives us our 7th plant slot, and we're on to our last easy world, Wild West. Here the gimmick is mine carts, which you can place a plant on and move them over to cover other lanes. This actually works out great with our electric pea shooters, especially since we can cover multiple lanes from the start. Wild West is also fun because it finally unlocks the lightning reed, which is great for regular speedruns of this game and just as useful for premium plant runs. Here I began the strategy of getting a few electric pea shooters and a few lightning reeds on each lane, cause like the electric pea shooter, lightning reeds can hit adjacent lanes, but they also have the added bonus of shooting zombies on their adjacent lanes even if there isn't a zombie on their direct lane. So overall, electric pea shooters are a damage powerhouse, and lightning reeds are better for more specific situations with less zombies. The only real problem day for this world was day 17, where we couldn't allow any zombies to touch the line of flowers halfway up the yard. These levels are always scary, especially some you'll see later in the run, but for now some bonk choys in front of the flowers did the trick and we made it through. Finally, we finished Wild West around 2 hours and 48 minutes in, putting us 23 minutes ahead of the no premium plants run. Not the biggest lead just yet, but it's only going to grow with World 4, Frostbite Caves. In this world, you need to deal with cold winds that will periodically freeze your plants. So you either need to break them free by hitting them with a bunch of attacks, or place your plants by a fire plant, which will keep them heated. And thankfully, we have the perfect premium plant for this job, the Fire Pea Shooter. This guy does twice the damage of the regular pea shooter and heats up plants around it, so we'll be bringing them along for any level we can. In general, we just want a couple of them around all our electric pea shooters, lightning reeds, and sunflowers. But while most levels in this world aren't too bad, the general difficulty was definitely starting to increase. The amount of damage a lot of these zombies need to take is constantly going up with each world, and in some situations, we even need to let some zombies go to the mowers. The biggest increase in difficulty though is the conveyor belt levels, because we don't get our premium boost at all. Still not too bad just yet, but I was starting to remember what made this speedrun so brutal. And one nightmare of a level was day 26. Here we have 4 flags we need to get past, and the level attacks us with the weasel hoarder enemy, which are normally easily dealt with by electric pea shooters, but the weasels came out way faster than I expected, so before I could set up defenses on all my lanes, we lost 2 mowers. I locked in after that though, and we still ended up with the win, but these levels are getting less and less comfortable the farther we go. Still though, we were able to end Frostbite Caves around 4 hours and 6 minutes in, which made us get over 30 minutes ahead of my old run. And next up was a really fun world, Lost City. The great thing about this world is it gives you sun tiles. These work in a way where if you plant something on a sun tile, it'll periodically give you sun just like a sunflower. So for a lot of these levels, we could just use our 2 gold blooms whenever they recharged and only worry about getting out electric pea shooters and lightning reeds. One of the craziest examples of how good our gold bloom strategy is, by the way, is on day 12. For this level, you need to farm a total of 5,000 sun before beating the level, and I didn't bring any sunflowers since I thought our gold blooms and sun tiles on the map would be more than enough. I won't lie, it was a bit close at the end, but the fact that we beat this level as fast as we did with no sunflowers was crazy. Probably should have brought them for safety anyways, but hey, we'll take it. Then another level that's usually pretty hard but this time wasn't, was day 30. For this day, our first 3 lanes are completely off limits to plant in, so the challenge comes in with not letting anything pass you. There are also enemies like the excavator zombies who will move your plants behind him, but with all the extra sun and OP plants we had, we pretty easily got this one done, which was a happy surprise. Finally, we finished day 32 in around 5 hours and 13 minutes, putting us a couple more minutes ahead of our old speedrun, but next up is Far Future. In this world, the gimmick that they added is power tiles, where if you use a plant food on a plant that's on a power tile, any plant on a corresponding power tile will also get to use a plant food. So what I ended up doing for most levels is a combo with both electric pea shooter and lightning reed plant foods to give us both instant and long-term damage. This is especially good because we were starting to meet enemies that could tank our electric pea plant food, so the lightning reeds filled in for those situations. Oh, also just in general, electric plants are so good for this world. There's some enemies that create a shield that protects other zombies, but electric plants completely ignore that, so unlucky for them. And in this world, we unlock the Infinite, which after using a plant food on it, creates a huge wall blocking every lane, making it perfect for levels with endangered plants or ones with flowers we can't let the zombies trample. By the way, please subscribe if you're enjoying the video, it really helps me out. Now on to Dark Ages. This world has only 20 levels, but they're really long levels. A big difference for this world too is their night levels, so we don't get any sun from the sky, and they brought back graves which can spawn zombies if you leave them up for too long. Thankfully for us though, premium plants solve all these problems immediately, with us having gold blooms for sun and electric pea shooters to make quick work of the graves. This strategy even works on levels like Night 9, where zombies can consume potions to make them tougher. I thought this could have been an issue before doing the run, but electric pea shooters are such a good counter to potions, it's not even funny. There still are some really hard levels in this world though, like Night 14, where we can't bring any sun-producing plants and need to make 5,000 sun just by destroying graves and using sunbeams, which are plants that once a zombie eats, as you damage the zombie more, it gives you extra sun. I honestly was not prepared for this level at all. In general, before this run, I thought it'd be more fun to not practice any strategies, so I could really see if premium plants were that good of a carry, but in some of these levels with really specific level restrictions, that turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. By the end, with just 2 zombies left, we were just barely able to reach our 5,000 sun goal with a sunbeam plant food, but our troubles didn't stop there. Because for Night 16, this is just a really hard level. The big issue is the Zombie King, who gives other zombies in his lane night helms, making them really strong. At first I thought my electric pea shooters would be enough to deal with them because of their piercing, but quickly I realized that this level was a lot harder than I thought it would be, and we almost got overwhelmed. Thankfully, we had powers to save us. Like I said at the beginning of the video, buying coins with real money is not allowed for my own arbitrary rules of the challenge, but the coins you get naturally through gameplay are completely fair game because that's how it works in regular speedruns. Still though, way too close for comfort on this level. After that, it was pretty smooth sailing, getting us to beat Dark Ages at 7:08, over 50 minutes ahead of our regular speedrun. That brings us to Neon Mixtape Tour, and this world's gimmick is it will play music at certain times, which cause zombies to move faster, or do specific actions like these glitter zombies protecting the zombies behind them with their glitter. This means we want our defenses up ASAP, and my main strategy I adopted here was to get 3 twin sunflowers up to have plenty of sun, and focus on getting tons of electric pea shooters and lightning reeds like usual. This setup felt amazing for this world with all the sun we were getting, and then since some of these levels had a lot of bucket heads, we could bring magnets and use their plant food to steal those away. But this isn't a rank 4 difficulty world for nothing. So on day 13, which is a prepare your defenses level, I finally got a loss with the electric pea shooter spam strategy. In this level, we need to deal with a bunch of glitter zombies, and I didn't think about how weak electric pea shooters would be against this strategy since they're more for spreading out damage than damaging a single unit, and that caused me to lose the level. So for now on these types of levels, I decided to find my old notes for the regular speedrun and just use those strategies since I knew they would work rather than just spamming our boys. Then another level with some struggle here was day 21. This is a protect the flowers level with the flowers fairly far back, and I thought I could use my regular electric pea and lightning reed strats, and that did work for a while until the final wave where I just barely got beaten by a single garganture. And yes, looking back, I could have just held one of my lawnmowers to kill the garganture since we gained that power a bit ago, but I was overwhelmed and that was a pretty bad loss. I then continued to have multiple more losses on this single level, which was really getting to my mental, before finally beating the level after way too long. This really felt bad after the rest of the run going so well, and feels even worse because later in the run, I thought of a strategy that would have completely mitigated this problem altogether. Yeah, I'll talk about that one later, but even though this level hurt a lot now, I still had a lot more of the speedrun to go. Like in day 26, what you're supposed to do is let the punk zombies kick your endangered plants over to the beginning at first, giving you more leeway with them, but my problem was I had too much firepower at the beginning, killing the zombies before they could move my endangered plants enough to the left, and that resulted in a few more losses. Eventually I figured out I could just not plant anything right away and kill the guys after they moved my endangered plants over, but yeah, Neon Mixtape Tour was not feeling kind to me today. Somehow though, after all that, we still finished this world in 8 hours and 33 minutes, saving us almost another 10 minutes over our no premium plants run. Looking back, I'm pretty sure it's because I died a lot here in the other run too. This world's just brutal. Now next up was Jurassic Marsh, and I wasn't sure what strategy I wanted to go with at first. The big issue in these levels is we're starting to get more and more really powerful zombies, so a lot of times our electric peas and lightning reeds just couldn't get the job done as much as I wanted them to. I decided to try the regular any percent strategy of using primal pea shooters and blowers to insta-kill zombies, and though it works, it just wasn't as fast as I would like it to be. Then I tried adding back and fire pea shooters for their extra damage, and it was okay, but still not great. Finally though, I realized something. The one thing I hadn't tried yet was the Cold Snapdragon, another premium plant, and this was the missing piece. I didn't use this guy before because on easier levels, we don't need his ability to slow down zombies, but for Jurassic Marsh, it was the perfect strategy. Especially because this world introduces a bunch of different dinos which help move zombies up in the map, so hitting them with the slowing effect that the Cold Snapdragon creates is legitimately perfect against them. The one thing that hurt though is while I don't think the Cold Snapdragon would have helped speed us up for most of the earlier levels in the run, I realized it would have been amazing for the flower and endangered plants levels. Its stalling ability is an amazing combo with our electric peas, so if I was just using him before for these types of levels, I definitely wouldn't have died so much in Neon Mixtape Tour. Whatever though, we got him now, and when combined with some bonk choice for extra protection, we made great progress in this world, and it went from being one of the hardest worlds to one of the easier ones. Oh, some other cool stuff we got is Primal Sunflowers, who give 75 sun instead of 50, and Primal Potato Mines, which grow really fast and do damage similar to a cherry bomb. We ended off Jurassic Marsh around 9 hours and 49 minutes in, so we saved a bit of extra time with premiums, but honestly the real benefit came from making this world a lot less stressful. Now it's Big Wave Beach time, and honestly, not too bad of a world to play. We went back to mainly using electric pea shooters and lightning reeds for damage, and just had to make sure we planted lily pads under any plants susceptible to water. For the most part, we cruised through this world with only 2 real difficult zombies to worry about. The first of those is the octo zombies, who had a ton of health and throw octopi at your plants, making them unable to attack until you kill the octopus around them. This generally wasn't too bad as long as we had a lot of defenses up, especially since our electric pea shooters would pierce through the octopi, doing damage to them and the zombies behind them. Still though, this dude can be really annoying, so something to watch out for. But then there was also the fisherman zombies, and these guys are jerks. They stay at the back of the map and repeatedly pull the closest plant over to the right. So you need to be on your toes, watching out for them, since they can easily kill a plant if you're not paying attention, just like they did for one of my endangered plants on day 23. Yeah, this level in general was a bit of a struggle, but eventually we got it done. I also realized later, oh yeah, I could just counter them. An infinite plant food completely repels their rod, and it's such a simple strategy that I just kinda forgot about. Whatever though, we finished up Big Wave Beach 11 hours and 26 minutes in, again just saving a couple more minutes over our regular run. But finally we're on to the last world, modern day, and I was really excited to see how our plants fared. This is easily the hardest world in the game, since it combines a bunch of zombies from the previous worlds and also spawns portals halfway up the lawn with zombies you need to deal with. Day 1 itself of modern day is usually really hard because of this, but with our firepower and a few bonk choys in front of the portals that spawned, we got through it really well. But an annoying zombie this world introduces is the newspaper zombie. This guy takes a ton of hits to first break his newspaper, and then once you do break it, he speeds up and eats any plants he sees really quickly. This was definitely a problem for me on the earlier levels, with day 7 having us lose all our mowers and an ice power to stay alive during the final wave of octo zombies, but I was slowly learning the strats for this world. And by that I mean, of course, more cold snapdragons. I really don't know why it took me so long to realize the solution again, but once we had those guys, we completely destroyed all our problem zombies and it felt great. Now there were still football zombies to deal with, which run super fast and insta-kill the first plant they see, but that just required playing smart and putting something not valuable up front to stop them. Still easier said than done, because it is difficult to react to everything in this game, but overall, there weren't too many issues with this world. Finally though, I knew the real test would be day 30. In this level, we have a row of flowers super close to the zombie spawn point, but I had a general strategy in mind. Obviously, we get our free sun first, and a couple sunflowers in the back. Before setting up an infinite, we would plant food, some cold snapdragons to slow people down, and our regular electric pea shooter and lightning reed strats. Unfortunately though, I didn't receive the plant food as soon as I thought I would, so we got a quick loss. After that, I adapted to farming a bit more at the beginning instead of starting my damage right away, giving me more time to set up a bunch of defense, and then it was just about placing more plants whenever one of them died to protect our flowers. With the cold snapdragons, this was especially easy, so we finished our last difficult level and the 3 boss levels up soon after for a final time of 12, 58, 10, or somewhere around that. I forgot exactly when you end off time. Now, with better playing, you could definitely get a sub 12 hour on this run, but we ended up beating my regular PB by about an hour and 10 minutes. Also, if you're wondering, the max level speedrun made by Perpetual Prince finished in sub 8 hours, might be a bit stronger.